Hello. I thought I'd do a quick video on what I've been listening to lately. So, as you know, or as you probably don't know actually, I am a subscriber of Audible. I also have Spotify, and I also listen to a lot of podcasts. So there's a lot of audio going on. As for TV, I really don't watch much TV at all. We have a Netflix subscription, but honestly, it never gets viewed. In fact, I feel like I need to cancel it because I really watch it so little that it's not even worth the $7.99 to me right now because I just don't get a chance to watch TV. But like I said, I listen to a lot of audio. I listen to a lot of music, podcasts, and audiobooks. So I'm gonna have a quick rundown of what I am listening to lately. So let's start with Spotify. So I've only just subscribed to Spotify. I am doing the 3-month for 99p deal, which is incredible. I'm so obsessed with it. Like, they're so cheap. I haven't had Spotify for years because I was like, no, I don't need to spend a tenner a month. And then suddenly I got told that you could do 3 months for 99p, and I was like, I am there. So I have Spotify. I love it. I'm obsessed. I'll probably carry on doing it. And recently I have been listening to, my recently played list is Suede Dog Man, a favorite band of mine forever. I have also been listening to a lot of Radiohead, who again, I love with all my heart from years and years and years ago. There is a lot of Radiohead in here. Then I listened to girl group Heaven, which is a lot of 60s girl groups. Amazing. Makes me so happy, and especially the Ronettes. And also I've been listening to the Sister Act 1 and 2 movie soundtracks, which just makes me so happy. Like, I love those films anyway, and it's just Whoopi Goldberg, and it's choirs and gospel, and it's so much fun, and I just love it. And then I've been listening to Weezer, who I am a huge fan of, more Elton John, because I love Elton John, and a little bit of Barbara Streisand. I don't know where this has come from, but recently I just had this weird feeling of, I want to listen to some Barbara Streisand. So I have been listening to her, and I've really enjoyed it. There's also a little bit of George Michael, and I've been listening to the daily mixes for me, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't feel like Spotify have really nailed who I am yet. So let's move on to Audible. Now, because I've had Spotify, I haven't listened to as much Audible. So that has taken a tumble. So I'm gonna let you know what I've been listening to, but it's really not very much, so be prepared for that. So first of all, Valley of the Dolls. It's an old book that I've read many, many times. It's a complete kind of cliche, but kind of also a classic. It's amazing. Jacqueline Susann. It's narrated by Laverne Cox. It's so good. It's such a joy to just have on my ears when I'm like taking photos, doing work. I can zone in, zone out. I know what's gonna happen. I love it. I've also been listening to Daisy Jones and the Six, which I thought was true. And I thought maybe I've just never heard of this band, but it's not true. It is a fiction book. It's amazing. I think they're making it into a film soon. I think Reese Witherspoon has something to do with it. I'm not sure. But it's a really, really good book. I highly recommend it. It's like almost like done like a play with lots of different voices, but it's amazing, really fun, really cool. Heavily inspired by Fleetwood Mac, I have to say. But it's amazing. I really enjoyed it. I tried 2 books about blogging. One called Blogging for Beginners. Oh, I don't even know what the other one is. I think it's just Blogging for Beginners. I couldn't get on board. Oh, blogging. Make money blogging. And I listened to about 5 minutes of that because it was boring and the narrator was awful. And then I tried Blogging for Beginners again. So boring. I just couldn't get on board. It was draining my energy of blogging rather than amping me up. And also I listened to This Will Only Hurt a Little. It's the autobiography of Busy Phillips. Really fun, really cool. I didn't really know who she was before I listened to it. And then I was like, oh yes, I have seen your programs. I do know who you are. And it was a really fun book. It was just really enjoyable. I kind of picked it out because she was wearing a really good pink suit in the cover. And honestly, it's been a really fun listen. So I highly recommend that. Now we're gonna move on to podcasts. My favorite. So let's see what I've been listening to lately. So I'm gonna go to my recently played list. So first thing is Lizard People, conspiracies and comedy. I love this podcast. I wish I was as funny as Caitlin Hempstead, who is the presenter. She is hilarious and she's so funny and quick and just brilliant. She's a comedy writer, just so good, and they have so many conspiracy theories on there, and some of them are really fun. Some of them, well, they're all really fun, but some of them are a bit sillier, and some of them I legit believe. Yeah, it's such a good podcast. The one I've been listening to most recently is The Kennedys Killed Marilyn Monroe. That's a very good one. Start with that. Then next I have been listening to, this is so cringe, I've been listening to the daily roundups of TMZ News. So every day they publish a 3-minute episode of like the day's news, like boom, 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 boom. Half the people are American, half the people I don't know who they are, but it's a really fun podcast, and I just like to know what's going on because I no longer have E. And like I said, I don't really keep up to date with much of what's going in the world, but the TMZ News I keep up with. It's so embarrassing. Next, one of my favorite podcasts, which is called We Need to Talk About Britney. Now, I'm going to be honest here, I'm not a huge fan of Britney, or at least I wasn't until I listened to this podcast. This podcast is so funny, and I have so much more respect for Britney Spears now, and it's just so funny, just so deep diving into the world of Britney, because she is fascinating. It's fun to talk about Britney, like there's so much to think about, and there's so much nostalgia, and she's stronger than we all think, and I just think it's a great podcast. I really enjoy it. Next, I listen to Strategy Hour, which is a really good American podcast all about like being self-employed, I think, like pitching and doing invoices. Oh God, I need to do my invoices. Every day I'm like, I need to do my invoices. Next, I listen to Forensic Files. I listened to the episode Video Diary, which I really enjoyed. I listened to that on the dog walk. And then last night, before I went to bed, I listened to an episode of Criminal because I find Phoebe Judge's voice so soothing that she helps me get to sleep, which is great. I've also listened to Generation Y recently. Oh, and Sinisterhood. So much fun and interesting, and it's nice hearing women talk about serial killers because you get a different perspective, if that makes sense. I really like it. But that's all my podcasts recently. And finally, I want to tell you that I have been listening to all my audio on the new Wonderboom 2. Ta-da! This is so good. It's a portable speaker. You just connect it up to your phone via Bluetooth, and it just you just connect it like click, click, and it plays everything out here. It's really good. It's got like 360 speakers, and you just turn it up and turn it down like these, and it's really easy to connect. And it's got a really long battery life. The Wonderboom 2, I think, has 13 hours, which I think the Wonderboom Classic had like 9 hours. It's also waterproof, so I can take it into the shower, which is how I get through a lot more podcasts than I probably should. And also you can take it in the bath, and if you do drop it in the bath, boom, it floats. So that's good to know. But that's everything. That is all my podcasts. That was all my audiobooks. That is all my music. I hope that was of help and of interest. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry it was a little bit of a longer video, but if you got to the end, please do subscribe because it would be lovely to see you again. Thank you so much. Please do check out all of the podcasts and audiobooks and music as well, because I think there's some great things that I've been listening to and I would like you to listen to as well. If you do listen to anything, feel free to tweet me. We can have a chat. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Bye.